So why did I get healthier? Why did you get healthier? Well, most people attribute it to because they eliminated the animal foods. Now here's the thing, and try to stay with me because I'm going to try to make this really easy for you guys to understand, okay? Alright, so you're eating just an average diet, okay? Just an average Joe diet. You're basically eating anything you want, okay? That means soda, cookies, chips, donuts, white flour. You go into restaurants like McDonald's. You're eating store-bought meat, eggs, milk, you know, you name it. You're just basically eating whatever you want, just a standard, regular diet, okay? What people would say is normal. Okay, so that's what you guys are eating. And then, lo and behold, you come across a PETA website, or you watch Food Matters, or you learn about vegetarian veganism, and now you're introduced to this whole new way of eating or lifestyle. So you start learning about whole foods, you know, live foods that come from the earth, like vegetables and fruits and nuts and seeds and beans and grains, you know, whole grains, and seaweeds and superfoods. You might dive into some of David Wolf's stuff. You might come across Durian Rider, you know, 80-10-10. So you're starting to venture into all this stuff. And all at the same time, you're being fed that animal foods are really bad for you. And of course, they're lumping all the animal foods together in the same category as being bad. But they don't tell you about humanely raised animals and animals that are raised eating a natural diet like grass, bugs, insects, or whatever animals are actually supposed to eat versus what the animals are fed on these big factory farms, which is awful and sad. So, without further ado, you ditch all of the animal foods out of your diet, and now you start bringing in all of these plant foods, okay, whole foods. So you got rid of all the junk that you used to eat, and now you're bringing in all this whole natural food. And lo and behold, your nails start growing, your hair starts growing, and you're like, wow, this is amazing, I could do this forever, and your skin improves. You know, if you had acne, maybe you had brain fog, and that's lifted. Maybe you had depression, and that's gone. Maybe you had fatigue, and now you have tons of energy, and you're sleeping better. Maybe you had cancer, and that just completely vanished. And so everything's going good and dandy. And you're like, wow, this is amazing. And you're wondering why your nails and your hair are growing so much faster. And was it because you eliminated the animal foods? Or was it because now you're actually eating real food, which the body can use to grow fingernails and hair, which is the real reason why your fingernails and hair are starting to grow like wildfire. Because before, you were eating that's just a standard diet. You were eating mostly junk, okay? Your body wasn't getting any nutrition in order to grow hair and nails, or to support optimal vision, or to support optimal brain function, or to support good energy levels, okay? So now all of a sudden, you've pushed yourself into a much healthier diet. But was it really because you eliminated the animal foods that made you healthier? Ah, that's where a lot of people attribute all of their health benefits in not actually the accurate way. Because if they actually kept the animal foods into their diet but switched over to the humanely raised, naturally healthy animals, they would have even more extreme superb health. But no, they weren't taught that. They didn't do that. And it isn't until years on a vegan vegetarian diet where people come to realize that, hey, the animal foods aren't really the cause of disease. It was actually all of the processed foods, the rancid, polyunsaturated vegetable oils, all of the sugar, all of that junk that I used to eat. And it wasn't fair to just demonize animal foods in general for causing my poor health. So then they, of course, learn about the work of Weston A. Price, how he went around the world and studied indigenous people and how they had remarkable good health, especially dental health, free of tooth decay. And then they might learn about cod liver oil and how it can help repair tooth cavities. So then they start including these foods into their diet on top of the vegetables and all of the other whole foods. And they watch their health just dramatically go over the top and rave about it. So, excuse me, sometimes it can take years and years on this vegetarian vegan diet to develop deficiencies because only animal foods contain true vitamin A. Only animal foods contain DHA and EPA. Only animal foods contain vitamin D3. Only animal foods contain abundant amounts of iron and zinc and other important minerals and vitamins that are so desperately needed by the human body in order to support optimal function. And when you eliminate these types of foods out of your diet for a long period of time, deficiencies do and will happen to you. And you may feel like you're thriving, but you may not really know what thriving is because you never tried the other side. See? So always keep an open mind and don't demonize animal foods for your poor, ill health, but realize that no, your poor, ill health was coming from the junk foods in the standard American diet and not humanely raised, naturally raised, healthy, clean animal foods. And the thing is, to remember is that if you eat sick animals, don't expect to get healthy. But if you eat healthy animals, expect to get a lot of good nutrition, because that's what our ancestors knew. They were smart enough to even realize that beef heart gave them a lot of energy. And today, through science, we've unraveled the fact that beef heart is one of the highest food sources of coenzyme Q10. And that's a pretty important nutrient, and yet our ancestors knew that there was something in beef heart that was really important for them. Even liver. They knew liver was a really important prized food back in the day. People didn't have this fear of liver. People didn't have this fear of butter. People didn't have this fear of raw milk and raw cheese, because these are the foods that actually sustained their health and kept them really healthy and kept them free of tooth decay. So we need to relearn the traditional ways of eating and learn from our ancestors and not have this fear of consuming healthy, clean, humanely raised animals. Thanks you for watching this video. If you like it, please favorite, like, and subscribe. And I encourage everyone to eat a more natural foods diet.